Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. Today we're going to be talking, Susie's going to be sharing with us about embracing the mystery. And so much of life is a mystery, I know. But we have to look beyond what we can see in our mind's eye and connect with Spirit. And this song is about that. It's about Beyond What You Can See by Chris Ullman. My God is faithful, for not a single promise made has gone unfulfilled. Oh, according to God's will, and I am able, with all the grace that God supplies, my every need, and this faithfulness exceeds beyond what I can see, and I am worthy. If not another blessing came, I'd still offer praise you for the balance of my days, and I'm forgiven. And though I sometimes lose my way, I can still depend. All this love and grace exceed beyond what I can see, beyond what I can see, beyond what I can see. Although the road's not clear, I will not fear the way God's leading me. Oh, so until the morning light, when my faith ends inside, oh, I'll rest assured in what I have believed and follow on beyond what I can see. God's so amazing, and I know how I have changed. God still stays the same, yes it does, and I'll still remain forever thankful. Oh, and though I sometimes lose my way, I can still depend on this love. This love for me exceeds beyond what I can see, yeah, beyond what I can see, beyond what I can see. Although the road's not clear, I will not fear the way God's leading me. So now until the morning light, when my faith ends inside, I can rest assured in what I have believed. Whoa, and follow on beyond what I can see. Oh, yes, I can rest assured in what I have believed and follow on beyond what I can see, and follow on beyond what I can see.
Beautiful. We should always attempt to look beyond what we can see with our physical eyes. Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Susie Shadle. I welcome you to Unity of Sarasota, where something wonderful is always happening. And because there is no distance or no apartness, that wonderfulness is happening right where you are too, wherever that may be. And so we know that that is the truth, and we're going to live firmly in that truth. Just know that all of you are welcome, those of you joining us on Facebook Live or on our live stream at unityofsarasota.org. Right now, we are in the midst of being really close to finishing up our renovation. Soon the chairs will be here and they'll soak up some of the sound, and the sound quality on Facebook Live will be a little bit less like an echo chamber. So know, those of you that are on Facebook Live, you can jump over to the live stream at unityofsarasota.org, or know that it's just going to improve where you are very, very soon. Please know that Unity of Sarasota is a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives. We are an inclusive spiritual community that embraces empowering and life-affirming practical spirituality for richer living right here and right now. And we join with our unity movement worldwide in creating a world that works for all. And I want to tell you something. This is one of my greatest desires, to live in a world that works for all. And so I would appreciate you really getting on top of that goal and that vision, and really embracing it, embodying it, and being that vision that we are creating a world that works for all, not in the future, but right now, right in this very creative moment. And please, let's engage all of our friends and loved ones and acquaintances. So let all the folks you know on social media know about Unity of Sarasota, and that we are creating a world that works for all. So click like and love and share, and all the clicks and things that you can click, and invite everyone to join us online on our Sunday celebration service at 10:30 every Sunday, and or our Wednesday evening music and inspiration service. Just know also that we have created lots of other opportunities to stay connected and get involved and engaged, even in this time that we're not meeting in person. Just know that we have created lots of small groups. And they are interactive virtual groups. And by interactive, I do mean you don't just interact with the host or the facilitator, you get to interact with each other. And so we have small groups, we have classes, we have yoga, we've got, you name it, we've got all kinds of things going on. Best place to find out, go to the website, unityofsarasota.org, you can find out there. And while you're there, if you have not already signed up for our newsletter, you can sign up for the newsletter there. We send out 2 editions a week. One is informational, one is inspirational. And that's probably your best way to stay informed of all the things that you're invited to participate in.
Reverend Susie, I have a little announcement that you need to make about finding us today on the website. Somehow or other, it got switched to Wednesday night again. This happened once before. So if you're looking for the service on the Sunday services, it's going to show up on Wednesday night.
Okay.
Under the Wednesday, which is just underneath the Sunday service. If you're scrolling down,
okay,
you'll find it there. We try to do things, and some things just don't always work.
Okay, so the poltergeists are back and messing with, the ghosts in the machine, whatever it is. So again, just in case you didn't hear that, if you're, I don't know if you can hear this even, go to the Wednesday service. Scroll down to the Wednesday service, and you'll be able to find the Sunday service. Who knows what will happen on Wednesday? We're embracing the mystery of it all. So hang with us here and just kind of experiment, scroll around, adventure, whatever it may be. Those of you who are on Facebook, if you can Facebook your friends that are watching online, tell them to go to the Wednesday service for whatever reason.
Well, certainly the audio quality is a lot better on our .org. So
yeah,
you can go there and Wednesday night.
Check it out. And I'm not sure how the recording will end up. We'll have to figure that out and send out some information this week if we can figure that out. Okay, so what was I saying? I have no idea. You know what? Here's the thing. We are wanting to honor members who have gone before us. So those who have transitioned into another plane of existence, we want to honor those people. And so if you can help us in identifying friends or family who might be able to add some information about their loved ones who may have been part of this spiritual community at one time but have passed on, we would like to be able to recognize and honor those people. We're going to be putting a tree of life in the sanctuary where we'll be, actually on the wall in the sanctuary where we'll be able to honor those members with their names on leaves of the tree. We also have an opportunity out in the labyrinth. We have a big granite sort of wall, if you will, where we can put memorial plaques for those loved ones that you want to honor. It's called our Forever and Always wall, and you can honor loved ones lost, loved ones who are still around, and that includes not only human loved ones, but also our beloved pets. So check those things out. They're in the newsletter and on the website, so check out those possibilities so that we can honor not only who's here with us now, but who has been before, and invite those who are yet to come. I do want to say that if you are inclined to support us in our financial prosperity, we would appreciate your financial gifts if you would go to the website, unityofsarasota.org, and push the Contribute tab. You'll find all the ways that you can give, and you can do the same thing on the newsletters. There are things you can click in order to find all the ways that you can support us financially so that we can continue to support the community. Also, I do want to remind everyone that we are in the midst of voting, and it's a very important vote, as it always is. I will never tell you who to vote for, but I will tell you to please, please, please exercise your right, your privilege, and your responsibility as a citizen of this country to have your voice be heard, to go and vote. Either vote by mail or vote early or however you do it. Go and vote and do it safely, mindfully, and prayerfully. It's important that we participate in our own destiny. So with that being said, I do want to say that this is our time to give of our financial good, but also to give of all of our good. And so I ask that you take a moment with whatever gift you may be giving today, whether it is a blessing, a prayer, a check, a credit card number, however you are giving today, hold it to your heart and infuse it with the energy of love, of abundance of every nature, of well-being, of harmony, of peace, of power, of presence, of everything positive that you can think of. Take that energy and move it into whatever your gift may be, and know that that energy flows with the gift, and it magnifies and goes out beyond what we can see with our physical eyes in ever-widening circles of inclusion and good. And so we give these gifts for which we are eternally grateful. And together we say, thank God within and all around me. Amen. And so let's move into prayer. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. Otherwise, a soft focus. Anything that allows you to simply be present in this now moment. And the best way to help us get there is our usual practice of breathing into the center of our being. Let that breath surround your heart space, and then exhale fully. And again, breathe in deeply, hold, and exhale fully. And once more, breathing in deeply, holding the space, exhale fully. And so we allow ourselves to be fully present to this now moment of creation, to be fully present to the truth of our being, to be reminded that each one of us is an emanation of the one Spirit, that from the one, Father, Mother, God, Spirit, come the many, and yet the many remain one in the divine. We are one, simply one, expressing individually, uniquely, powerfully, the very presence of Father, Mother, God that lives within and all around us. And so we are reminded of that truth of our being. We embrace it, we embody it, We become that. That I am. We express that I am in all that we think, say, and do. And I am grateful for this reminder of the truth of our being, and most of all, I am grateful that we are willing to express this truth, to live this truth, to be this truth. And so it is. And together we say, thank God within and all around me. Amen. So our daily word is steadfast, steadfast. And the affirmation is, I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. Say that with me. I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. No matter where I may be on my path, sometimes my spiritual life feels easy and sometimes it feels hard. There are times I enjoy new insights, blissful clarity, and peace. Other times I may struggle, feel stuck and directionless, or even lonely on my walk with God. At times like these, I renew my commitment to my spiritual path. Although my attention may have wandered, the divine presence within me has always remained steadfast, as near as my next thought. Wherever I am in space, time, or consciousness, I discover the love, strength, and wisdom of God expressing through me. Our scripture comes from Psalm 139, 9 through 10. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. And again, our affirmation, I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. If you know our statement of being by heart, I invite you to recite it powerfully with me. Otherwise, just hold the space and let it absorb into your being. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are individualized expressions of God.
I want to be a spiritual finder, not just a seeker.
Seek and ye shall find.
Okay then, whatever, that's fine. Here's a good one. You picked this one for today, too. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children. Wade in the water, oh, God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in red? Wade in the water. Must be the children that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, yeah. Wade in the water. Now God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that young girl dressed in white? Wade in the water. Must be the children of the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water, yeah. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, yeah. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Susie, take it. Who's that young girl dressed in blue? Must be the children that are coming through, yeah. Oh, wade in the water, God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children. Wade in the water, God's gonna trouble the water. You don't be believing that I've been redeemed. Wade in the water, yeah. I just seen that Holy Ghost looking at me. God's gonna trouble the water, yeah. Wade in the water, wade in the water, yeah, yeah, children. Wade in the water, now God's gonna trouble the water. Right. Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Wade in the water. I love that one. You know, if you haven't heard the Eva Cassidy version of that, go on YouTube and listen to Eva Cassidy. That is a voice that left the planet way too soon, and just listen to anything of hers and you'll be delighted. So, our series this month is Make Your Life a Masterpiece. And today I'm focusing on embracing the mystery. Our core value affirmation for the week is we embody Christ consciousness and live from the awareness that God is within and all around us. We embody Christ consciousness and live from the awareness that God is within and all around us. And so this month we've been exploring the ever-evolving life changes and transformations that are our lives as a creative process. And those changes and transformations move us to re-examine our lives and often to make new choices in order to live in greater alignment with that unfolding creative process that is our lives. So in the first week, we explored that creative process and what are some of the practices that might prepare us for unfolding it powerfully. And so some of those processes or some of those practices, some of those things, the evolution we go through are exploring and experimenting in order to learn and discovering new awarenesses and insights in order to discern. And finally, integrating our past learning, our present creative possibility, and our future experience, integrating that as one, because there is no time in spirit. It is all one. And so we integrate those different phases of our own awakening. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "The world is but a canvas of our imagination. The universe is wider than our views of it. It's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see." And so we need to learn to see more clearly. And so last week, we focused on seeing our lives more clearly, and we focused on some tools that we can use to help us to do that. One of those is to step back and be still. Step back from the canvas, that canvas of our lives, and be still and observe from new perspectives. So that picture that you've looked at that's called your life, over and over and over again, seeing the same thing over and over and over again, step back. Observe it from different perspectives. There's a Taoist proverb that says, "No one can see their own reflection in running water. It is only in still water that we can see clearly." So it's important to take time occasionally to step back and be still and observe with new perspective and clarity. To pay attention to some of the parts of our lives that we tend to give little attention to or even willfully ignore. Take time to retrieve your kid dreams and then imagine the adult expression of those kid dreams. I used the example last week of my own life, that the kid dream was I wanted to be a priest. or a pope if I could make it high enough. I have a pope hat just in case. But my kid dream was to be a priest. And despite all the people who were so anxious to tell me that was impossible, I believe that I did become a priest. I'm a minister now. It took me till midlife to figure out that the kid knew something that the adult hadn't figured out. And so now the adult is in collaboration with that kid dream and being that which she was called to. So retrieve your kid dreams and imagine what the adult expression of those dreams are. Another tool is visualization, to visualize. It's a great tool for experimenting and exploring before you have to choose and commit. And then finally, we talked about the practice of delight. The practice of delight. You remember that show? Now I'm going to show my age. Old show where the little guy said, "Deplane, deplane." So I'm standing here telling you, delight, delight. Look at delight. Delight and joy and playfulness and lightness of being. That is a spiritual practice that is very powerful and takes us to powerful places. So this week, what we want to explore is the mystery of life. And much of life is a mystery. And while we may long for stability and things to kind of stay the same, at least for a couple minutes, life is ever evolving. That's one thing we can count on. Life is ever evolving because it is a creative process. And like it or not, life is uncertain. There aren't guarantees and ironclad outcomes. And we're often called to embrace the mystery with faith and courage. We must re-examine and reevaluate life and risk making some new choices, changing directions perhaps. And to participate in the co-creative process with Spirit, it's important that we hone our spiritual practices and our skills. The journey into the mystery is often, you might have noticed this in your own life, the journey into the mystery is often initiated by a dilemma or an upset in our lives. I like to call it a divine discontent. The divine is discontent with us doing the same old, same old. And ultimately, we become divinely discontent with doing the same old, same old. The creative process then invites us to explore and discover and to integrate that unfolding possibility that is our life. Embrace the mystery. Embrace the mystery. And even more importantly, risk acting on what it is that you find there in the mystery. Risk taking action without any guarantee of what the outcomes will be. You know, in that process of being in the mystery, we begin to realize that we are no longer who we were, but we're not quite sure who we're being called to become. And we have to learn to just be comfortable in that space between. But I will tell you this, know with faith that we are becoming who we have come here to be. I believe that we are constantly becoming who we have truly come here to be. And we may take a lot of detours along the way. Fred Mandel and Kathleen Jordan suggest, during exploration, we voluntarily wade into uncharted waters where the risks and the rewards of what we will discover are unknown. And when we engage in integration, we accept all the risks of committing ourselves to a new path. Embracing the mystery involves acting on those new opportunities and new possibilities. There's no point in being the mystery if we're just going to rubber band ourselves back into the old way. We're in the mystery for a reason, to pull us into a new vision, into a new way of being. Now, I will guarantee you that, the mystery can be a source of anxiety and stress, or it can be a source of insight and creativity. The choice is ours, how we choose to approach it. But I will say, hang in there and ride it out. Write it out. It's one of the best rides ever. Disney got nothing on that one. You know, it's best also to resist jumping into premature conclusions or solutions while in the mystery, because that mystery kind of winds around sometimes and loops back and forth and goes all kinds of directions. So write it out. Write it out. Don't jump to conclusions and solutions and end the process prematurely. Lao Tzu wrote, "If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." That's the possibility in the mystery. You know, allow those opportunities and those possibilities to unfold and reveal themselves in God's time. Don't push the river. Flow with it. Embracing the mystery does not enable us to avoid uncertainty. I wish that I could tell you it does, but it doesn't. It does not help us to avoid uncertainty, but it does help us to navigate it more powerfully. So sit with the mystery in faith and allow the hidden treasures within it to arise in your awareness. It's worth the journey. It's an invitation to float freely in the quantum soup of the mystery and yet to stay grounded, and that's important, to stay grounded while we float freely in this mysterious possibility. Chuang Tzu taught this: do not struggle. Go with the flow of things, and you will find yourself at one with the mysterious unity of the universe. Even in the mystery, we are at one with the mysterious unity of the universe. Now, there's some practices that we can employ to open us to that greater yet to be in the mystery, but to also remain grounded. It sounds like, you know, how do you do that? How do you float free and remain grounded? It's possible, because all things are possible in God. Now, some of those practices that help us to do that very thing, to float free and yet be grounded, are things like meditation, visioning, catching Spirit's vision for us, prayer, silent contemplation, journaling, spending time in nature, listening to music, playing music, Tai Chi, yoga. You can tell I'm an expert at those two things, can't you? You know, Michael and Deborah have tried to teach me yoga. I mean, not yoga, but Tai Chi. And they may have given up, I'm pretty sure, because I'm constantly going, excuse me while I amuse myself. I'm going to invite us to just take a quick moment to try practicing being grounded right now, okay? So close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and just sit still and quiet. Just sit still and quiet, feet flat on the floor, grounded to earth. You might even imagine your legs or your feet, you know, growing roots right into the earth. Feel yourself starting to ground. Notice your breath. Notice your breath as you breathe in deeply and exhale fully. And that breathing in deeply and exhaling fully helps to ground you in the quiet, in the stillness. And allow your breath to find your own perfect rhythm and circulation. Imagine that it is the breath of Spirit breathing you. And so you feel yourself floating and at the same time grounded. You feel steady and stable and yet free. And so just allow yourself to feel that grounding and yet that limitless possibility in the free floating of the mystery. Some say it's about keeping your feet on the ground while your head is in the clouds. Just imagine that imagery, feet solidly on the ground and your head in the clouds, in the mystery. Remember when we were kids, we'd lie on the ground and look up at the clouds and imagine all kinds of shapes. Imagine that being in the mystery, floating in the mystery, and being grounded at the same time is similar to that. So slowly bring your awareness back to this time and space and gently reopen your eyes. And know that you can practice that brief little moment anytime. You know, you usually have time even at a traffic light to just be grounded and float free. When the light turns green, please do move on. When you're just sitting waiting for someone, you're waiting for a doctor's appointment, ground yourself and float free in the mystery. It's a quick little, very powerful practice. And this practice grounds us. These kinds of practices grounds us and allows us to float mindfully simultaneously. We can be present and aware and noticing and sitting with what is without any judgments or conclusions. Just be present, aware, notice, and sit with what is, what simply is, what floats through your mind. Just watch it. Float. Float in the space between what was, what's so right now, and what is yet to be. Float in the space in between. That in-between space is ripe with new perspectives and insights and possibilities. And we spend too little time there. We go back to what we know instead of inviting something new and powerful. So I'm going to give you a practice that you can try at home. I'm not able to do it with you here. So this is your homework practice. It gives you an opportunity to float mindfully at home. So here's what you do. You take a raisin and you place it in your hand. And you really focus on that raisin. Really see the raisin. See all the little grooves and wrinkles and the color. Just really get acquainted with that raisin. And then after you feel like, wow, I really know this raisin, put the raisin in your mouth. Feel it in your mouth. You can feel the grooves and the wrinkles. Feel it in your mouth. Notice the texture and the shape of the raisin. And when you feel that you fully embraced the raisin and its raisinness, slowly begin to chew the raisin. Notice the feel of it as you chew it. Notice the taste. Notice the sensation of chewing it and then finally swallowing it. Let your awareness just float with the process of being intimate with a raisin. And then imagine what you can do with your own life. Now, I have a favor. I have a request. I would love for some of you to report back to me on your experience with the raisin, because this is a practice I am not able to do. Because you see, my gums get the willies and my teeth feel like they're falling out when I try to eat a raisin. I don't even begin to explain that. There is not enough therapy in the world to move past it. I just accept it. So tell me about your experience with the raisin so I can live vicariously through you. It doesn't quite work as well with other fruits because they're smoother, you know. A raisin's more interesting. So check it out and let me know. You might have a huge awakening, all from a little raisin. You know, embracing the mystery just like that little practice, but embracing the mystery of our own lives urges us to risk acting on our new awarenesses and insights, to develop skills to take risks in the sense of not being, careless, but in the sense of acting without certainty of the outcomes, being in the mystery, and yet taking risks anyway. The courage to move in new directions when the path is unclear or not even there. When we and others doubt the wisdom of our actions, to still have the courage to move forward and take the risk. Taking risks is essential to the creative process of our lives. The creative process will not unfold without us taking some risks. We can't know all of the outcomes with any degree of certainty, but we can be smart with the risks that we take. It's okay to take reasonable risks, if you will. Ask questions. Imagine lots of possible outcomes. It's almost like playing chess, know several moves ahead. Break big risks down into little risks and take them one at a time so that you don't scare yourself or fall into the Grand Canyon. It'd be better to just fall in a small ditch, if you fall at all. And here's how I like to think of it. This imagery, for some reason, really works for me in terms of taking risks that are not too frightening or too crazy. If you're swinging on a trapeze swing, what you want to do is you want to leap off that swing when the swing you're leaping to is closest to you. So, in other words, when they're like this, leap. When they're like this, not a good plan. Wait till they come closest. And you're still going to be flying through midair in the mystery, but it's a reasonable risk. Try it. Actually, I understand somewhere in Sarasota there's a way that you can actually do that and live through it. I've talked to some people who've done it. And again, ask essential questions before taking a risk. Because it's not about us being able to avoid the inevitable life risks, but it's about being able to navigate them well. You might ask questions like, is it worth it? Is it worth the time, the energy, and the effort, and the potential costs of taking this particular risk? Are the swings at their closest point? The creative life journey that we are unfolding is about answering the ultimate questions of life. Who am I really called to be? What am I really called to do? Can I be good at this thing I'm called to do? What actions must I take to move forward? The risk to live an authentic life of passion and purpose is both exciting and scary. It just is. For me, the question that haunted me when I was ready to leave the life I knew, being a corporate executive, it made sense to me. It was logical. I was good at it, made a lot of money. A lot of people told me, a wise person, just keep doing that till you retire with your little golden parachute. But I knew I was being called to something else. But this is the question that kept me up at night. What if the very thing I most feel called to and want to be and do is the one thing I'm not good at? That terrified me till I took the courage and the faith to make the leap. And I had to have the courage to leap, and I had to have the faith to know that the net would appear once I made the leap. And I left the top rung of the corporate ladder. And actually, it was kind of fun. I slid right down to the bottom and became a minister. And you know what? I haven't regretted it since, because I feel that I'm being who I truly am. And you know what? They actually pay me to be who I am. That's kind of cool. Just know that creation and that unfolding of the creative process and the path to our authentic self is rarely straight or paved. Just know that going in. And we have to have the courage and the faith to risk becoming the masterpiece that we've come here to be. You know what? And we're going to make mistakes. Count on it. We're going to make mistakes. I love what the Buddhists say. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. I'm still standing. You know, and while we're falling down and getting back up, we may not look cool while we're learning and stumbling and finding new ways of being. But it's okay. Skilled risk-taking requires developing new practices, new skills, and knowledge. It's an experimental thing. It's not an exact science. There's no guarantee. There's no little list. Check, 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 check. It's not necessarily a map either. But it is a call to integrate the inner and the outer landscape of our lives. We draw the map. That integrating of our inner and outer being is called integrity. We become in integrity with who we truly are. And we must assess and develop our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual maturity. That's what that unfolding creative process is about. We get more emotionally, mentally, and spiritually mature in this journey. And again, continually ask ourselves the critical life questions. How well do I manage my emotions and my disappointments? How strong is my conviction that I am being called to make a change? How high is my confidence level? How much do I depend on the opinions of others? How well do I handle uncertainty? How resilient am I? What do I value more, a sense of fulfillment or financial prosperity? And here's the big question. Do I believe I can have both? Do I believe I can have it all? Do I believe that I can be all of who I've come here to be? A masterpiece. You know, it's essential in that soup of the mystery that we be aware of our emotional terrain, because emotions can freeze us into inaction and derailment, or emotions can free us to move in new, exhilarating directions. But we must be the ones to embrace and solve the mystery of our own lives. And I guarantee you, the journey will lead you to becoming the masterpiece that you are. So blessings on your journey of embracing the mystery. Allow yourself to sit quietly in the mystery of uncertainty, to notice what potential scenarios show up, and then imagine the thrill of taking the risk to blaze a new path. And so it is. And together we say, thank God within and all around me. Amen. Rob is going to play a song that I requested by a friend of mine in Seattle, Michael Tomlinson. It's called One Breath. And just imagine it as a meditation for you.
Oh, and it so is. This song actually helped me this week, because it's all about breathing in and breathing out, and how healing that is. Overnight a lot can change, and you can go from cloudy gray to the morning brilliant blue. It's all for you, the purest part of the sky and the ocean too. There you are, there it is, everything that life has to give. I'm not talking about a dream, and I'm not singing of something in a fantasy. There are wonders in our lives already real, worlds we don't even know we someday will eventually, even all these things will be revealed. You sing these words and feel all the pain and fear fall apart at last when we take one breath and we just forgive again. Breathing out and breathing in, mystery secrets of the wind, blowing in and out our lives, breeze in a sail to bring us closer to love with each inhale. Every wind, every breeze, every single breath that we breathe. Overnight a lot can change. You can go from cloudy gray to the morning brilliant blue. It's all for you, the purest part of the sky and the ocean too. There you are, there it is, everything that life has to give. Here, sing these words and feel all the pain and fear fall apart at last when we take one breath and we just forgive. Well, here, sing these words and feel all this pain and fear fall apart at last when you take one breath and we just forgive ourselves. Just forgive yourself.
Wow. Did you feel yourself floating and yet grounded? Again, that was Michael Tomlinson. Check him out on YouTube. He's got a ton of great songs, and that one is called One Breath. One Breath. Wow. I'd like to just hang there for a while. Just a reminder that this Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. is our Music and Inspiration service. The theme this Wednesday is enthusiasm, and the music will be brought to you by Elaine Silver and me. And so please join us. It's a really wonderful midweek. You know, Wednesday is a good example of floating freely and yet being grounded. So check it out. Check it out. And I just want to say thank you for joining your energy with ours this Sunday morning. And we look forward to seeing you join your energy with ours on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m., and also next Sunday, 10:30. And again, hopefully by then we'll figure out the difference between Sunday and Wednesday on the live stream. Who knows? I thought I knew my days of the week. I used to say that little poem, Solomon Grundy, born on Monday, blah, 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 you know, the whole thing. But Apparently, the machine doesn't know the difference between Sunday and Wednesday, but we're going to teach it during the week. So, see you
Kind of like
next
time
time.
traveling.
Pardon?
Kind of like time travel.
It is like time traveling. You're already at Wednesday. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, you'll go back to Sunday probably. Who knows? It's a mystery. Okay, so just embrace it. All right, so we're going to say our prayer for protection followed by the peace song.
All right, shall we?
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God
watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is
well.
well.
Peace song.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God, our Creator. Family, all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Ah, yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Blessings on your journey this week. Embrace the mystery.